Hello, welcome back to my channel if you are new here. My name is Alexis. I am a disabled powerlifter from Pennsylvania and a Buff Bunny Collection exclusive athlete. Today I will be reviewing the new and upcoming VIDA collection, which is actually a collaboration collection with Teresa Hurtado. I was hyped when I found out that this collaboration was with Teresa because she is sexy-curva-licious and I know that all of these pieces was gonna snatch me, okay? Teresa and I actually have almost the exact same body measurements except that I'm like 4 or 5 inches taller than her. So I knew that this collection was gonna be very well fitting for someone who's curvier and has my body type. Before I get into any details, I want to give y'all my sincerest thanks for all of your support. So in my last review video for the Unbreakable collection, I kind of had a maybe this is my last collection review with Buff Bunny collection because my contract was up during the launch time of the last collection, and I'm human. I have self-doubts and imposter syndrome a lot. I was just really hard on myself and thinking I have less than 10,000 followers on Instagram. I am by no means a content creator. I work in a lab all day at a university, and I think I over-explain things and talk way too much. And, you know, I may not have as many views as other Buff Bunny Collection athletes. There was just so many self-doubts in there. And when I asked y'all in that video to please support me by liking, sharing, commenting, using my code Lexi, y'all came through for me. So I truly appreciate the amount of support that y'all gave to me. And that just showed the team that I'm interesting enough. You know, you may not think about it, but when you view someone's content, if you like it, it adds to the algorithm, okay? Your positive comments saying like how helpful something is really shows the Buff Bunny Collection team that I have value, that my growth as an athlete with them and my help to the Buff Bunny Collection community of women looking for answers on these upcoming pieces is valued and it's helpful. I just don't know how else to express it to y'all other than just saying thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your support. As always, my updated measurements are going to be listed in the description box below, and there are timestamps so that way you can skip around to your favorite items. I had a lot of really good feedback from the last collection review video where I did a quick sheerness test for all the bottoms, so I'm going to do that right now. With me, I will always do a sheerness test with some dark colored printed granny panties so you can see exactly what you are getting. I hope y'all appreciate the effort that is put into this and the embarrassment that I go through seeing screenshots of my bum being shared on the Buff Bunny Collection community Discord and on the internet. It's kind of weird. I'm like, I've made it. People are like talking about me online, but it's my butt and some sheer leggings. But anyway, the description for the VIDA collection is that VIDA is a story of growth, resilience, and transformation, visually represented through the journey of Teresa Hurtado and the blooming of the Mexican dahlia. Just as a flower grows from a seed, Teresa's life unfolds, from the struggles of being a teenage mom to finding her power through movement and perseverance. I look up to her a lot, not only because she can juggle it all. She is a teacher, she is a Grounds app personal trainer, one of the most prolific Buff Bunny Collection exclusive athletes, long-standing, but she's also an amazing mom and just a really great role model. Anytime I need help or advice, she is always there to lend it. So I really appreciate her, and I'm so excited to see her shine in this light and have her own collaboration with Buff Bunny Collection. We have some really beautiful colors in this collection, so here are the colorways. We have the return of a lot of fan favorite fabrics. So a little bit of a breakdown for all of the fabrics and potential updates is that the Newbury fabric in this collection, all of the pieces are the restored Newbury fabric. If you have followed me for a little bit, you know I go into great detail talking about the differences in fabrics and the washes and the updates and whatnot. The return of POSHKNIT fabric. POSHKNIT fabric is now a happy medium between what we saw in Glam and Glory, Deadlift collection, and the One More collection was just a little bit too soft and stretchy. So now POSHKNIT fabric is a happy medium between those two. We also have the return of Perform fabric, which we have seen in quite a bit of the Buff Bunny Collection pieces. So if you think about the bend and snap dress, that Perform fabric is exactly what you're going to see in a bodysuit in today's review video. We also have the return of the Pillow Tote, but in a larger size. We also have different types of 100% cotton t-shirts, and this one is a crop. Dream Heather fabric, which is just a little bit softer and stretchier compared to what we saw in its original form. Halo fabric, no changes to those items. Shape Seamless fabric, no updates or changes to that fabric. We also have the return of Eco Poly fabric, and the last time we saw that was in the Juicy collection. In terms of returning items that really have a lot of change in its fit and update is first off the Phantom jacket is now coming back as a waist length jacket. We have the return of POSHKNIT leggings, but now they have a pocket and they have an increase in the rise height, which I'm so happy about. This collection really has a wide variety of pieces that I think will cater towards a lot of different types of women, their body types, ethnicities, and skin tones. I really appreciate the amount of work and effort that went into the overall scope of this collection. As always, just thank you for being here. If y'all could please like, comment, and share this video or subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Once again, I do have my updated measurements and timestamps in the description box below. That way you can skip around to your favorite items, and let's get into it. First up, we have the beautiful VIDA Seamless Sports Bra. This is coming in 3 different colors, made of seamless fabric, so it is very stretchy in all directions. It is advertised as medium support level. A 1.5-inch bottom band, the midline sports bra, a sweetheart neckline. I like that it almost looks like it's coming into a halter, swoops down into the back, and then you've got these straps here that make a wide racer back design with a keyhole opening. High rise under the armpit coverage, and where the straps hit, it is supposed to help kind of tuck in your lats and armpit areas. Going over the details, it has some ribbed detailing, broad pad shelf separators, so it distinguishes where the mid bust is. Ribbed contouring is so cool because right here you can see it's the flat seamless, and then here and here it's the ribbed seamless. And I like how it like tapers out with this large rib line. Also that wider kind of single ribbed detail on the sides that allow it to look like it has a little bit of bust contouring. It tapers down into the back, and then that back strap is added in. Buff Bunny collection emblem. The straps seem to be pretty stretchy in all directions. The way that those edges are all sewn, it's reinforced and it's going to hold up, but it's soft and not noticeable. Because this is doubly layered on the inside of the bra, it makes it like more apparent where you can see the bra shelf. Removable bust pads that have a slit on the side. You can see again that rib detailing that helps you not have uni boob. You can see all of the stitch detailing that allowed for all of these pieces to be connected and make this masterpiece of a sports bra. I don't think anything's going to be uncomfortable. Okay, and for comparisons, I do have the original Form Seamless Sports Bra, and this came out summer sale last year, and it doesn't have any bra shelf cup separators, so I don't know if you can see the lining, but this bra pad is definitely like from here over there, so I just moved it back. So the bust pads do move around. You can kind of see the chest profile. This one looks a little bit more contoured and more pronounced with that center. This has a sweetheart neckline. This one has a keyhole opening here, but if we flip it on the other side, some ruching in the center. And if we look at the bottom bands, it has just a little bit more length to the bottom band than the new VIDA sports bra. From where the bottoms to the top, these have the same length, except for VIDA has just a little bit of extra coverage with that extra kind of strap are the same width. Measuring in at about 10.5 inches wide is about 4 inches, but with that added 1.5-inch bottom band, we are coming up at around 5.5 inches. A little over 6 inches. Sweetheart neckline opening about 7 inches. The back bottom band is under 2 inches, but these straps are 5 inches. They may be 7.5 inches, about 2.5 inches. The widest part of the racer back is kind of under 4 inches. I don't have a very big cup size, and I have like a wider frame and broader shoulders. So I think the fact that it is like a V-neck to it, it gives me the illusion of having a little bit more cleavage. I do think it's more of a light to medium compression and support sports bra because they are seamless fabric. You can see they're pretty stretchy. Light support, I wouldn't say medium support because if I'm jumping around in it, and I think if you had a larger bust and more weight in this region, you're going to have a lot of stretchiness and not as much support. I'm very much a fan of the fact that this has that elastic woven 1.5-inch underbust seam because it just lends a little bit of like security. I wouldn't say a lot of support, more so just hold into place. Where the straps hit, they're pretty high up on the armpit, but they don't dig in. It fits pretty dang well on the armpits. Here it is from the back. The back has that beautiful keyhole opening. That band at the bottom just helps you with a little bit of the securedness. And again, I just think that the lats are really tucked in nicely, and I'm very impressed with the way that this bra looks on and feels on me. I do think that this is large and small bust friendly. If you have a larger bust, a light support, light movement exercise kind of sports bra, I think it is true to size. You could potentially size down in this because the fabric is so stretchy in all directions. But if you do size down, you could risk that back band being a little bit too tight, because I already feel like it fits me perfectly. I would hate for it to be even tighter and then really dig into my back fat. So stay true to size is the best bet. Overall, I'm very pleased with this sports bra. I'm going to have to give it a 9 out of 10. And the only reason why it's losing 2 half points for me and my personal preferences is because, number one, I do wish that it was just a little bit more supportive. If the straps were adjustable, or maybe if they were just a little bit shorter, that would be nice. And then number two, I'm not a big fan of the strap in the back. I wish that it was taller, because I moved around a few different times and I just felt like it kind of rolled up. I think if it was like taller, it would just cover a little bit more of my back and it wouldn't make such a bulging appearance. But other than that, these are the Hard Candy 4-inch Legacy shorts. And I know that they're different materials, but I think together the colors are pretty like mix and match in this whole collection. So I'm very happy with it. I do think out of all of the seamless sports bras, this is my favorite, because No Filter collection, we had the halter sports bra. Flat inside coverage wasn't enough for me personally. And then the other seamless reversible sports bras that we saw, the first version from the summer sale was just giving uni boob, and then the other side had like no support. I would highly recommend trying this out, and I do see myself wearing this a lot more often than any other seamless sports bra, because you just have an amazing amount of lat and back coverage. And I mean, this with the matching shorts, chef's kiss. Next up, we have the hybrid of all sports bras. This is POSHKNIT Revolution Curve Sports Bra. Made of POSHKNIT fabric, so it's going to be like a medium compression and support. It pays homage to the square neckline that we see in the Revolution sports bra, but it also pays homage to the Curve sports bra, where you have this underbust contouring straps that are in a crossover design, adjustable bust pads that are removable, really good amount of lat coverage from what I can see. Going into the details, throughout the bottom of the entire bra, it feels like there is a very thin, very light elastic band. It's more so just to keep the bra in place, not so much to give you support. From the side, it looks like it has a really good amount of high up the armpit lat coverage. In the back, a U-shaped back opening and the simple panel silicone Buff Bunny emblem straps are sewn into the 2 layers of the bra shelf. How nicely done is that? You're not going to feel it. It's not going to dig into you. There is elastic that is enclosed or encased inside of these straps, so they will stretch. I'm a little nervous if they will roll and bunch up, because they're not like very wide. Dyed to match metal hardware. The part for the adjustable strap sews this little loop inside of the actual frame, because then I'm not feeling any uncomfortable stitch seams, right? On the inside of the bra, a simple stitch seam bra cup separator. The cups are removable from a slit on the side, and is really a hybrid, and it pays homage to the Revolution sports bra with that square neckline, and then the Curve sports bra that has that underbust curve. This Revolution sports bra is a size medium, so this is where the square neck ends, and if I line it up here, there's about that much width difference. So this is definitely wider than a regular Revolution sports bra square neck. However, this is a size medium and this is a size large, so maybe that had something to do with it. I also want to point out that the POSHKNIT fabric does feel exactly the same, in my opinion, as the POSHKNIT halter sports bra that we saw in the One More collections. But please remember that the POSHKNIT flare leggings that came out in the One More collection were way too brushed, way too soft, and a lot thinner. So the softer, it's not as warm to the touch as the POSHKNIT fabric that we saw in the Deadlift collection. So this POSHKNIT fabric is definitely the newer version, and I'm definitely cool with that. I like that. It's not super brushed. These are both a size large. The width is going to be about the same, a ½ inch difference in height. General measurements: 12.5 inches, 11 inches, about 15 inches, close to 3 inches, about 5 inches, about 6.5 inches. I haven't tried this on yet, but I feel like just how wide it looks, it's going to be more wide frame friendly and not so much for the girlies who have small frames, but we'll try it on and we'll see. I really like this sports bra. I think face value, because you curve bottom, it's like inverted compared to the top, it looks so flattering. Great amount of coverage because it comes up pretty high and tucks right underneath the armpits. So I think this is excellent coverage sports bra. Doing a little jump test, medium support sports bra. It is true to size. I would not recommend sizing down, because from the side profile, you have that great amount of coverage, but I do feel that it's like digging in on the whole side, not just underneath my armpit. So if I'm relaxed, you have a great amount of coverage. But where I think it fits true to size, and I would not recommend sizing down, is because in the back, I feel like the bottom band digs into my back. And if you can see there, there's not a whole lot of room for stretch. In the bottom, it's a little bit too tight, but overall, it is wide frame friendly. The spaghetti straps, they're so thin and stretchy. This is small bust and large bust friendly because of the amount of coverage that you get, but also that very small thin band that goes all throughout the bottom of this sports bra. Really, it just like sits more secure, if that makes sense. So overall, I would have to rank this sports bra an 8.5 out of 10. And the reason why it loses 3.5 points for me and my personal preferences is because number one, I don't think that the square neckline is a true square neckline look. And it kind of gapes, if you can see that there. And if I bend over, there's definitely a lot of gaping. Probably because I have such a wide frame and like a flat chest profile, but I do notice this quite a bit and that does bother me. Number two, I wish that the straps were wider and like maybe wide flat ones just to lend some more support because they're so thin, and I definitely notice them on my neck. I could just loosen them up in the back, but main point is they're just really thin and stretchy. I don't think they actually lend any support. Number three, the bottom band that goes all throughout the bottom of the sports bra is just a little bit too tight in the back for me. But for me and my personal preferences, I have like a wider upper body frame, so I feel like tight on me because of my body type. You're going to be pleasantly surprised with how much coverage and how much support you feel despite the shoulder straps. I would highly recommend trying it out, especially if you are a larger busted woman. I think you're going to love the amount of coverage that you get, not only in the height, but the like going into the side boob coverage for the sports bra. Next up, we have the beautiful Soul Sports Bra, and we have seen the Soul Sports Bra before. It was New Bray fabric. It's from the Earth collection, earthy, like neutral tones. So there is quite a difference in this one. This is the V2 of the Eco Poly fabric. We have seen this in like the Mood Ring Rebel legging, and we saw this last in Bailey Stewart's Juicy collection with the pink holographic. Eco Poly is like a medium to high support and compression fabric. A 1-inch elastic at the inner edge of the bottom hem, a light to medium support sports bra, scoop neckline, thin racer back design, built-in bra pads with a slit on the top to remove them. So going over the details, it lays nice and flat and smooth, more apparent from the inside. And the Eco Poly fabric, I love that it comes over so that that elastic band is kind of hidden and it doesn't like stick out too much from this. It's fairly stretchy. That elastic band does go throughout the entire bottom of the sports bra. Silicone dye to match emblem, lat and under armpit coverage from the sides. There is a good amount of like, bottom band portion of the sports bra, and it is fairly stretchy in the straps. From the inside, a double bra shelf separator, so that way the pads don't move around too much. Are removable from a slit at the top. It's a pretty simple design. It looks seamless, like it's invisible stitch seams. So along all of the edges, the two pieces of fabric are sewn inward. You're not going to notice any stitch seams or anything digging into you. In the front, there is more of the apparent stitch seam, but I don't think you're going to notice that at all. I don't have the original Soul bra, so this is the Curve sports bra, and I want to say we last saw this in the Juicy collection. 4.5 centimeters, and this is 3.5 centimeters. This is the Alpha Sports Bra V2 in Mood Ring, except this has more of a purple hue to it, and this is way more blue and kind of monotone. And we have seen that Eco Poly holographic print in the Juicy collection. So those are the difference between those three holographic prints in different colors. General measurements, the bottom is coming in at around 13.5 inches. Back band portion, 3.5 inches, a little under 1.5 inches, 11.5 inches. Bottom of the bra shelf to the top is about 5 inches. With that additional elastic band, it is about 6 inches. It has a great amount of coverage in the side boob area, in the lat area, and then in the like rise height in the front. This is a great full coverage option for large and small bust women. It's not uncomfortable on the shoulders. I do think the straps are great and they're not overstretched because Eco Poly fabric, in my personal opinion, is not a true four-way stretch fabric. It stretches pretty great horizontally, but then vertically not as much. So I do think the straps don't overly stretch out. I would just recommend sizing down for a little bit more support because as is, I would definitely say this is a light support sports bra. There is a lot of stretch to it, and this is my true size large. And I have a little bit of gaping here. Again, I have a large upper body frame and a pretty flat, small bust chest profile. So I think you could size down in this because it is like 4-way stretch and like roomy, but also from the back it does have a good amount of stretch to it as well. And I love that really thin racer back design. I think that that's pretty flattering and easy to move around in. Overall, I'm gonna have to rank this sports bra a 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that I'm not in preference for is the fact that it just runs a little bit big. If y'all do follow me on my Instagram page, in my stories, whenever I do exchange for a different size, I will give y'all fit updates. And I would highly recommend getting this sports bra because it's a great full coverage, easy to throw on, not too flashy sports bra, but with that little bit of, you know, pizzazz to the design and the finish to it. It's just so beautiful. So I definitely think that Teresa and the design team did their thing with this sports bra. Next up, we have the super cute VIDA Baby Tee, and this is coming in 3 different colors. I have the leche color right here, 100% cotton, waist length fit, but probably right around the hips. It is inspired by some traditional Latin embroidery. Going over the details, the star of this shirt is the Latin inspired embroidery with VIDA right in the middle. Also going to be seen on the top of the sleeves. Micro ribbed cotton style. So this is actually really stretchy in the horizontal direction, but in the vertical direction, it's not stretchy at all. When I stretch it out, you can kind of see that like micro ribbed woven cotton throughout the neckline and the lining of sleeves. There is this rib, so it's going to match with a lot of things that are green, reds, browns, earthy tones. And in the back, simple design to it. There is no Buff Bunny Collection emblem anywhere that I can see. Oh, this is, I believe, the Vision t-shirt from Buff Bunny Collection. This is like the more smooth, softer cotton feel fabric, but you can kind of see how it's woven compared to the regular t-shirt. So this is definitely more soft, and VIDA is just a little bit more like an everyday shirt, not so much an activewear shirt. Okay, this is so cute. It like reminds me of a K-pop movie star slash someone's abuelita. Like, I love it actually. On me, I have a longer torso, so it is a meet and greet length. However, I think if you're a shorter torso girly, this might hit right at like your hip height or horizontal stretch, not a vertical stretch. Revolution curve sports bra underneath it, you might be able to see through it, so just try to make sure you're wearing a skin toned bra underneath it. But that floral design really catches the eye. I like that it's not all throughout the sleeves. It's only like on the cuffs of it. It's nice and comfortably, nothing too crazy to the design. Stay true to size up. I think it looks better as a semi-fitted shirt. If you size down, it's just going to stretch it out a lot and it may lose a little bit of its like formed shape. So true to size, definitely a large and small bust friendly. I would probably rank this a 9.5 out of 10. It's exactly as described. It's fine. I just wish that the cotton was a little bit softer. The rougher cotton, similar to the Grounds Collection t-shirt, be wary of that. But I would recommend it for like an everyday shirt. I think this is going to look super cute with my hair down, out on the day, with the coat. I'd highly recommend it just to have like an everyday cotton t-shirt that is high quality from Buff Bunny Collection. Next up, we have the Phantom Waist Jacket. This is made of nylon and spandex and Perform fabric, so it's pretty stretchy in all directions. A light to medium support and compression. The sleeves come with thumb holes, waist length fit, so it's going to be a little bit around the hip area. As a 2-way zipper. So the details have some really nice contouring. Does not have any side pockets. And I was surprised, there is actually no Buff Bunny Collection silicone emblem, not a coin emblem, like a little metal coin emblem either. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have any like Buff Bunny Collection logo branding on here other than the zippers. 2-way zipper, it's metal, dyed to match metal hardware with that Buff Bunny Collection emblem. Nice neckline. This is the locking feature for the zipper, so it's not going to just like come undone. It's going to stay nice in place. Hidden zipper with that little like lining on the outside. I don't know if you can really see that little nub right there. And then at the bottom of the zipper, but at the very bottom of the jacket, when we go to close it up, listen. It has like a little locking part, so that way the bottom zipper doesn't just like come up on you. Sleeves are going to be a fitted sleeve look, and then the collar is a nice like short collar, so it won't roll or fold back. It is just nice and simple. Hole opening, it's so nicely well sewn. It's not going to be itchy. It's like invertedly sewn there. This new jacket has more Rosa styled like princess kind of stitch seam contouring lines, just like that. A stitch seam throughout the bottom of the jacket. It is that Rosa styled stitch seam as well. This is singly lined all throughout. The original Phantom jacket more dense and it's double layered like all throughout the front, just to give you a little bit more compression, whereas this one is singly layered. Full length phantom jacket, a rounded bottom hem, taper off just a little bit, and it has slight rounded bottom hem. Stitch contouring is a lot wider, like it goes almost underneath where the armpits hit. I feel like it doesn't come as wide out, so it's going to make you look a little bit more snatched. That wide kind of robust stitch detailing like what we see in the legacy leggings, but for the new one, fine and more princess delicate Rosa style stitching. It also has a hood. It does not have a hood, but it does have a collar to it. And for quick measurements, about 16.5 inches. The very smallest point of the waist of 14.5 inches, 17.5 inches, 20 inches. Middle of the sleeve length is coming in at about 24.5 inches. 5.5 inches. Because I have a longer torso and because I did size down, this does hit just a little bit below the smallest point of my waist. However, it will be more of a hip length or waist length top for those of you who are a little bit shorter. So that's just something to keep in mind. Obsessed. This is the jacket I have been waiting for. If I'm at the gym and if I'm wearing just my sports bra, showing off this midriff part, no big deal. But showing off all of this plus my arms is just a little nerve-wracking. So I'm very happy with it. But you can see as it's open, it is just a little bit too small for me. But because the fabric is so stretchy, you can definitely get away with sizing down. So I wanted it to be more form-fitting, so I sized down to a size medium because I wanted it to be a little bit more fitted. It is a fit and flare design, so the bottom does flare out just a little bit, but just know that it is going to be tight in the arm area if you size down. So I definitely notice it being a little bit tight, but I don't really mind that, and I knew what risk I was going to take on by sizing down. From the side, the stitch seam, I don't really notice it. Under my arms, I think it's fine. In the back, it does come just a tiny bit lower. And then that collar, about 1 inch height, I don't even notice it. So everything's, you know, pretty comfortable and stretchy. It is like lightweight, cool to the touch. So overall, I will have to give this jacket a 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that I'm not in preference for is that it has that little bit of flare. If it was just more fitted, I would have gotten my true size large, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it being a little bit tight on the arms. But other than that, I think it is exactly as described. Next up, we have the beautiful and brand new Perform reversible bodysuit. On both sides, you actually don't have a front rise seam or back rise seam to make it a true reversible bodysuit. This does have its own kind of curvy silhouette to it. Perform fabric, so it's kind of slinky, like a mid-weight fabric, very cooling to the touch, very stretchy in all directions. It looks like a crystal crop top. There is no contouring, it's just nice and flat. As the scoop neck line, it's doubly lined throughout the torso, singly lined through the bottom. So this does come with removable bust pads that you can actually put on the reverse side. It's literally like twist front design. Keyhole opening does have a stitch seam right here, but to help, you know, with that design and connect it to the bottom half. Top of the waistband does have a very thin elastic band that's added in, keep it in place in that top waistband portion. So going over the bottom half, more revealing side of the bodysuit, it looks like leggings here, 6-inch inseam length, slight V contouring waistband, silicone emblem. Other side, there is no waistband, it's more smooth, light V waistband. That the stitch quality in the V waistband is more like Rosa, where it's more delicate and very fine. A double crotch gusset. The bottom of the pant leg, the stitch quality is that of more legacy, a robust stitch quality. And if I compare the stitch quality there, the difference on the inside, the entire top half has a double layer. There is a bra shelf separator on the more like flat simple side. For that twist design, there is a very slight stitch and kind of have that bra shelf identification there. The twist itself separates the two bust pads for moving around, and the bust pads are removable from this double or like joined slit in the side. The stitch quality is really well done all throughout neckline of the top. Comparisons, there's not a whole lot I can compare this to because most bodysuits that we've seen from Buff Bunny collection have been spaghetti strap. General measurements, so 8.5 inches wide. From the widest part, 17.5 inches, about 11.5 inches. The rise height from that bottom of the slight V waistband to the top of the waistband is about 4.5 inches, 5.5 inches, around 3.5 inches. The total rise height around 18.5 inches. The very top of the straps a little over 1 inch wide. Okay, bodysuit is so cute, but it's giving major camel toe because the fabric is so thin, and I kind of don't think like long torso friendly just because it's pulling so much in that region. The fabric is so comfortable. From this side, I do think that the way that elastic band is in the back, it kind of like pulls towards the middle of your waist and just helps you look a little bit more snatched. The bust, a light support and compression. I wouldn't be like jumping around or doing high intensity training in this. Bottoms, even though the Perform fabric is thin and pretty stretchy in all directions, I do think that it still is like flattering and smooths out, except for the crotch area. This is pretty thick thigh friendly because the fabric has a good amount of stretch to it, and the way that stitch seams were sewn, it just stretches with the fabric. Actually good on the cellulite coverage because the fabric is thin, but it really just kind of smooths out everything. Because this is reversible, there is no front rise or back rise stitch seam. If you were to have a front rise seam, that camel toe would be even worse, but it's a negative thing because in the back it doesn't really accentuate your butt. A glute rise stitch seam in there to kind of accentuate it a little bit more, so these aren't as flattering on the glutes as I thought that they would be. This is true to size. I would not recommend sizing up or down because the way that it's shaped, it's very snatching and then looser in the hips. Let me show you the other side. This side is spicy. I think because I just have like a wider upper body frame, this isn't like the most flattering on me. I kind of wish that the twist was just a little bit like tighter in, so that way I can kind of push my bust together. So the bust area is definitely light support. The only thing that's kind of sort of supporting you is that edge here, doubly sewn. That top stitch seam for this part, it just kind of digs into me and I'm squishy. So I definitely noticed that cutting into me a little bit and just kind of accentuates my belly a little bit more than I would like it to. And then the camel toe and kind of fupa showing on this side is just as apparent. I do think if you were to get the black, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But overall, I'm going to have to give this bodysuit 8 out of 10. And the reasons why it loses 4 half points for me and my personal preferences is because, number one, I do wish that this was made out of a little bit more of a compressive, supportive fabric. I think for how it is structurally, it should just be a little bit more compressive and supportive. Number two, I'm not crazy about this side. I do wish the bust just had a little bit more to it. And I don't really like the top stitch seam on this side, especially in the middle area. I get it, you need to have this panel sewn here, but I wish that it didn't have the top stitch seam right in the middle because I noticed it digging in. Fourth thing is that camel toe. The camel toe is absolutely something that I'm not comfortable with, and it, might be a little tough with pictures to execute, but if I wear a painting liner with it, maybe I can avoid that. It is exactly as described. I do think it's pretty flattering. These are just things that are not exactly in my wheelhouse or preferences. I highly would recommend to try this as a very lightweight, soft, just sits on the skin bodysuit, something good going into the summer months. Maybe try out the black color, that way this area isn't as apparent, but I would highly recommend to try it on because it is like a second skin kind of feel, and I definitely feel very comfortable in it. Next up, we have the absolutely stunning, gorgeous It Girl VIDA Seamless Short. This is coming in 3 different colors. This is the Sunrise Ombre shape seamless fabric, so it is very stretchy in all directions. A 6-inch inseam length. Could be a light to medium compression and support some shaping abilities to it because you can see how snatched in the waistband is. Those are singly lined, so single lined, but the waistband is of course doubly lined all throughout. So that's just going to add a little bit more compression and support. A high rise, slight V waistband. In the back, a V dip down waistband with a deep V glute contour. It has a pretty apparent glute scrunch, is woven a lot wider than what we have seen from Buff Bunny collection. The waistband is ribbed material, connected in the center, so there is a stitch seam here. Deep V dyed Buff Bunny collection emblem is kind of a dual rib detailing, so it kind of connects and misaligns there. So you can see it's like high rise. No stitching all throughout the top of the waistband. And then the rest of the legging itself is just that flat seamless material. A double crotch gusset stitching on the inner thighs. Stitch detailing is similar to what we see in the Legacy, but on the bottom of the pant leg stitch seam, folded under, and then very fine stitch quality that stretches with the pant leg, and there is no stitch seams running down the outsides. For details on the inside, there really isn't anything significant that I need to point out other than the Buff Bunny collection information tag. Just wanting to point out that really nice stitch quality, although it is thicker and looks more robust because of the layering of the flat fabric and then the ribbed fabric on top. That stitch quality is so nice and soft, like I don't think you're really going to notice it. For comparison, Form Seamless shorts, flat and square like. VIDA Seamless definitely have a lot more shape and pizzazz to them. So you can kind of see the Form Seamless. So Form Seamless shorts, and then the new VIDA Seamless shorts, you can see how opaque they are. So in my personal opinion, it's the exact same composition. The rib detailing is very different on this one compared to VIDA. Regular stitch seam and then stretch this glute scrunch out. It's actually going to be the same rise height from crotch gusset all the way up to the bottom of the waistband as in the Form Seamless, and then waistband is actually going to be the shortest part because it dips down V in the back. Although these VIDA Seamless shorts do not have any kind of under glute contouring, I'm wondering if like the shading when it turns into ombre will almost enhance the glutes a little. Glute rise. All right, really quick measurements. The widest part of the hips is measuring in at almost 16 inches. The rise height in the back about 8 inches. The inseam length about 6 inches. The pant leg width 7 inches. On the front side, rise height in the front is 9 inches, and the very bottom of the waistband to the top about 4.5 inches. So it fades from orange to pink, pink to orange. So I think that is really cute. So rather than going over every single detail verbally, I'm just going to list it on the side. Where the waistband, like deep V hits, like a medium compression and support. These do hit the smallest of my waist, but probably because I pulled them up a little bit because I'm taller. But when you pull them up, you're going to risk having camel toe. So just kind of be careful with that. These are a 6-inch inseam length. However, I think because the fabric is a true like 4-way stretch, they end up looking just a little bit longer, which is something to keep in mind. It's just a lighter color, so you can see the cellulite just a little bit more apparent. I'm noticing that where that V dips down in the back, if I move side to side, I end up having rolling in the waistband happens because I feel like the rest of the waistband is trying to meet very lowest point of that V, if that makes any sense. I definitely notice that wider glute rise separation. It's pretty structured and stiff. I notice it even more than like aggressive scrunch or the scrunch in the POSHKNIT leggings. In terms of sizing, I definitely think that these are true to size. I would not recommend sizing up or down because if you were to size down in these, you would risk them being even more sheer. And if you were to size up in them, you'd probably have a little bit too much fabric gathering in the midriff area. On me, because I'm a thicker girl, I'm definitely getting camel toe, and I think it's more apparent just because it's like a lighter color, so it's not super flattering in the crotch region. One way that you can get around camel toe is by wearing a panty liner, specifically in the front region. That will help kind of mask the camel toe a little bit. So I will be doing that later, but for the purposes of today's video, of course, I'm wearing dark colored underwear just as is, so y'all can see how opaque and how the fabric fits on me in my lady regions. Overall, I'm gonna have to rank these a 8.5 out of 10, and the reason why these lose 3 half points for me and my personal preferences is because number one, they're pretty sheer, and that's definitely going to be the case when you have lighter colored items. The second thing I'm not in preference for is that the waistband just keeps rolling down on me as I'm moving side to side, and there. Let me know in the comments if that happened to y'all with the POSHKNIT Deep V leggings. But the third thing I'm just not really in preference for is that, so I kind of wish that where the Deep V hits for the waistband came down a little bit like lower, because if it did, it would just be a little bit more flattering on my crotch area, my lower belly area. But as is, I have a longer torso. If I pull it up, it's definitely not going to be as flattering on my lower belly region and in my crotch area. So that's just not really within my preference, but these are a really beautiful pair of shorts. Very well structured. It's just the fabric I wish was a little bit more dense, but definitely kudos to Teresa and the design team, because with skin tone thong, these are going to look so bomb. I love the gradient. The butt looks really good, even with, you know, granny style panties on. I would highly recommend to try these out. I can see myself wearing these more than any of my Buff Bunny collection seamless bottoms because these just have more pizzazz to them. And next up we have the new POSHKNIT Scrunch Pocket Legging. The design team did increase the rise height in the front, and the back rise was also increased by ½ inch. The fabric is slightly more compressive now. This is coming in 3 different colors. This is the beautiful Mar color. POSHKNIT is going to be pretty stretchy in all directions, a medium compression and support. I want to say it's almost similar to Newbury fabric right now. Full length, 26-inch inseam length, true high rise, double crotch gusset, no front rise seam, 2 seams that run down the sides to add in those pockets. In the back we do have a deep V glute contour, silicone Buff Bunny emblem, little bit of contouring stitching, an elastic band that is hidden on the inside, and that just is going to help separate the glutes a little bit. And for the details, this really reminds me of the Rosa leggings because it has that Rosa like very fine stitch detailing, and then we also have these pockets on the side. What's nice about these pockets is that they're bonded, but basically they're folded over and there's adhesive added to them just so that you don't have like a thick stitch seam and it won't restrict you from stretching these. For the front of the waistband, there's no stitch seam contouring. The waistband is a piece of fabric folded onto itself and sewn. No top of the waistband stitch seam. The glute rise is that like wider flat detailing, and then that glute rise has that elastic band. From the side there are 2 stitch seams that run down to about the middle of the leg, and that allows us to have the pocket. And then from that pocket there is a single stitch seam that runs all the way down to the bottom, and that is that kind of Rosa delicate stitch seam detailing. Inside there is a thicker stitch seam that runs all the way down the pant leg, and at the very bottom of like the ankle cuffs of the pant leg there's that wider stitch seam detailing, but when you stretch it, it stretches with the fabric. Little comparison. So here are the Legacy pocket leggings. The Legacy, that's like thicker Legacy style stitch seam, whereas the POSHKNIT, more Rosa, have that iconic tri-arch glute contour detailing. In the POSHKNIT, we definitely have a difference. The rise height up until the waistband is almost the same. I would say the Legacy is just a little bit higher top of the waistband. The Legacy pocket legging is the same rise height. And then for the glute rise, just about the same rise height. I think Legacy pocket leggings are just a tiny bit higher, but then the waistband is about the same. We have the original POSHKNIT legging that we saw in the deadlift collection. The front rise actually looks the same to me. These are both a size large. For the back rise, we can definitely see that the new POSHKNIT legging has a little bit more height. Then this is the POSHKNIT flare legging that we saw from the One More collection. The rise height is exactly the same. Front, these are the same rise height as well. Elastic in the glute rise band is just a little different than what we saw from the deadlift collection. This one isn't as wide as this one, and this one is more reinforced with stitching over it. This one from the deadlift collection, not as much. So I just wanted to point out there's a little bit of a difference in the glute elastic band. The aggressive scrunch legging, and that elastic band is wider and sits flat, and obviously it has more of a scrunch design to it. That elastic band just looks a lot different for the two. So top of the waistband is 10 inches, 13.5 inches, and the length of the waistband is 4.5 inches. Gusset is about 10 inches. Back rise is 11.5 inches. Is about 5.5 inches. These are such a beautiful color. I don't think that the camera really does it justice, but they are so comfortable, and I dare say these are probably my favorite POSHKNIT fabric item in general from Buff Bunny collection. A slight warm feel to them, a happy medium between the flare POSHKNIT leggings that we saw in One More collection versus the original POSHKNIT fabric legging that we saw from the Deadlift or Glam and Gore collection. Are a full length legging. I love how high up they come. I would honestly put these more as a ultra high rise legging because I have a longer torso and these are hitting at the very smallest point of my waist, and that's just because these have like a good amount of four-way stretch to them, right? And if you're shorter girly, these may come up a little bit taller. I think these are good in being cellulite friendly because that pocket extra fabric just kind of helps mask a lot of it. Here it is from the back. I love how much higher up these come compared to the other POSHKNIT leggings. The silhouette of them really was like curvy girl friendly, just holding them up. So I would say definitely just stay true to size, because if you size down, you're going to risk these being a little bit more opaque, and they have a good amount of stretch to them. These are honestly kind of giving Rosa leggings in my opinion because they're like ultra high rise, on me at least. They have the pockets. They just feel really, really good. So I'm very happy with these. Overall, I'm going to have to give these a 9 out of 10, and the only reason why these lose 2 half points for me and my personal preferences is because, number one, I do feel like the POSHKNIT fabric kind of slides down as you wear it. So I do find myself kind of adjusting these as I'm wearing them around my apartment. The second thing I'm not really in preference for is how warm the leggings feel. So like they're not as warm to the touch as the original that we saw in Glam and Gore, but I feel like as we're moving into the summer months, these are going to be just a little bit too warm for me. I think these are more of a fall winter legging, not so much summer. And I'm sweating actually. My apartment, it's not too hot, but these make me feel warm. I don't know if you can see the sweat stain there, but they're all really flattering. I would highly, highly recommend to try these out if you've been looking for a nice, flattering pocket legging from BUFFBUNNY collection, because it's been a little while, so very excited for these. Next up, we have the tried and true fan favorite Legacy 4-inch inseam shorts. I wanted to get these so I could test them out and kind of show y'all why my preference lies with more of the longer 6-inch inseam length shorts. It's coming in 3 different colors. This is the Candy Crush. This is made of Nubray fabric. As y'all know, if you have been following me on my Instagram page or for these BUFFBUNNY collection reviews, the Nubray fabric has changed over the last few years, so the original was a lot more dense. Last year we saw a much thinner, stretchier fabric. This is definitely more of the restored Nubray fabric, where it's a happy medium between those two. So it is still a light to medium compression and support legging, stretchy in all directions. However, it's not as stretchy and not as sheer as what it was last year. So the team, I think, got the wash down perfectly. It is a ultra high rise, no front rise stitch seams, a sort of slight rounded waistband, and in the back the iconic tri-arch butterfly glute contouring stitch seams that go into the waistband. Simple stitch seam here for the glute rise, but double crotch gusset. A stitch seam on the entire side on both sides. The waistband is doubly lined. It's simply the fabric folded onto itself. A silicone BUFFBUNNY emblem. If y'all know me, I never get 4-inch shorts because in the front, it's a little short, but okay, you know, whatever, no big deal. But in the back, it's like I have no coverage underneath my glutes. So that's a struggle when you have larger glutes. You need more fabric kind of pulled up to cover the glutes, and then you end up having like basically diaper wear on the back. But anyway, it's ultra high rise. They hit at the smallest point of my waist. I have a longer torso. I do think that these are flattering. They are fair in being cellulite friendly because they're a light color. They're going to show it off just a little bit. You can see it there on this side, and they're true to size. This is the restored Nubray fabric, so it's just a little bit thicker compared to the Nubray fabric that we were seeing all last year. Definitely true to size. Overall, I would give these a 9 out of 10. The only 2 things that I'm going to take away from these is that, number one, they're just too short for my preference, but that's, you know, on me because I ended up getting the wrong ones and not the 6 inches, which was totally my fault. And then number 2, because of the lighter color, I just feel like it's not as forgiving in the midriff area. But those are pretty much the only 2 things that I'm not really in preference for. We have the Flirty Flow short, and this has a boy short liner. And the other version of the Flirty Flow short is that it has a bikini style liner. But this is coming in 4 different colors. This is the beautiful Azul. This is made of flow fabric. It's slinky, very lightweight fabric on the shell. Sound to it when you move, a light to medium compression and support level, a high-rise short. High-rise really means from belly button height be a little bit higher than hip length, but for ultra high-rise that would be at the smallest point of your waist. So this is high-rise, smoked waistband with an inside draw cord. Really soft and thin. It's not super thick. The boy short is a 4-inch inseam pockets on both sides. And silicone emblem. From the back side, there's really not anything to the design. But on the side, you have this draping, folded over design for the outer shell. Get a little peekaboo from the short liner underneath. From the inside, it does have the side stitch seams that allow for the pockets to be built in. The double crotch gusset. From the back side, there's really nothing significant. Again, you're not going to see any of this. A little hard to compare apples to oranges, but this is the sway short in a size extra large, and these flow shorts are a size large. As some of y'all might know, if you've ever tried the sway shorts, the waistband, it has a wide elastic band, and that performed fabric doesn't really stretch that much, are more like pleated in the way that they're designed around the waistband. So it's supposed to be like pleated and look like a flowy skirt. Sorry it's so wrinkled, just pulled it out of the laundry. Whereas this flow short is very flat. This side opening for these shorts has a lot of extra fabric to really help with that like flirty skirt design. So once you stretch this out, it's going to look a little bit more flat. This is a size large, these extra large, and you can see they are actually the same waistband width. So crotch gusset to crotch gusset, you can see that this is a more of an ultra high rise or more of just a high rise, so a little bit around the belly button area. Is measuring in at a little over 15 inches, about 12 inches, about 14 inches. I just don't think that it was made for someone who is curvier like me. I definitely think that Buff Bunny collection has a little bit of something in every single launch to cater towards many different body types, right? So if you're a very lean body type, if you're a runner, these are going to be great for you. You know, and it same goes with bras. Like there are some plunge, super light support sports bras that are great for IBTC community, but not so great for the BTC community. So it just depends on your preference, your body type. If you're standing still, legs apart, kind of smooth out that outer shell of not bad. When you're standing normally, this ain't it, okay? And because I'm a curvier girl, where these are hitting is more like mid-waist. They're giving me a muffin top. They're not even comfortable. Come up so low, they're like barely covering my butt. It just pulls the fabric back, and then I have like this wide opening, and it's just not very, you know, flattering for someone who's curvy. The liner, it's like doubly lined where the pocket is, but it still shows off like my cellulite in the back. I do think that the fabric is pretty durable in the way that I don't think it's gonna pill, and it's pretty durable, strong fabric, and it doesn't have any stretch to it, at least the outer shell. But the inner shell definitely has a good amount of like compression and support. These run small. Here's the size up, size extra large. I think they look a little bit more flattering, but when you move around in them, you still get the bunching up in the crotch area. But I think it's easier to kind of let them flow, and then they don't open up as much and expose the pocket as like the smaller size, my true size does. And in the back, they are just a little bit higher up and a tiny bit more covered. It's not giving me like super diaper booty. So that's just for comparison. I feel like these sway shorts are definitely going to be way more thick girl friendly. I know these are running shorts, but again, if you're a bigger girl, these just ain't going to work. So overall, not a fan. I would not recommend these for my thicker girls. I think if you have a very lean body type, they could work for you. To give these, like, I'll probably just give them a 5 out of 10. So the rise, the outer shell, overall, the fit and how it is in the crotch, the sides, how it really just pulls because that fabric doesn't, you can see that like bunching in the back here, the fabric really just isn't good for, it's supposed to lay flat. Sorry y'all, I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just trying to be completely honest. So yeah, just looking out for y'all. Next up, we have the beautiful pillow full-size tote bag. This is the mini pillow tote that we saw in one more collection, and it is probably generally 1/4 the size of this larger tote, except that this has additional pockets on the inside and the outside, and its size. We have a nylon exterior, water resistant polyester lining. The dimensions will be listed on the side, a laptop pocket, and 2 pockets on the sides that are expandable, puffy straps that are basically sewn together here as that beautiful quilted kind of zoomed in floral design dyed to match metal hardware all throughout the bag. First off, with this Buff Bunny collection emblem on the side pockets, the buttons, as well as the hardware on the zipper for the expandable portion, legs for the bottom of the bag, a plastic zipper but a metal handle, Buff Bunny collection emblem, metal dyed to match zipper on the inside pocket, metal D-rings so that you can attach the extended handle throughout different parts of the bag, metal hardware on the bag extender strap, and metal hardware to close up the laptop portion of the bag. On the sides, it has a pocket, hidden non-exposed zipper, so that way you can expand this and place like larger items, your hydro jug on the side. Unfortunately, it does not stand up on its own. It is a little bit flimsy. There is no like metal or plastic boning hardware in the corners. And then on the other side, that other pocket, on the top of this bag, faux leather lined zipper, and that is sewn into the actual fabric for the closure for the top of this. The zipper itself is plastic. There is a large internal pocket. On the other side, we see a laptop sleeve that is also faux dyed to match leather. There's a D-ring on the inside for like your keys. The full extender padded shoulder strap. This is adjustable. Legs, so that way this will sit down on something and potentially not ruin the bottom of your bag. And it does feel like there's either cardboard or a thin piece of plastic to help give it a little bit of structure. It kind of just stands up on its own because of like the way that it's structured with those four corners. However, for the larger bag, I think just the weight of like the rest of the fabric makes it not stand upright. It's a little bit more flimsy. It's wider than my frame, so like it's a big bag. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. It fits comfortably underneath the arm. I definitely would give it like a 9 out of 10. The only two things I'm not really crazy about is that these straps definitely slide off. Straps are slinky as well, so there's just two slinky fabrics sliding on each other. But I do wish that the straps maybe had like a grip on them, just kind of keep them into place. And then number two, on its own, it does not stay up straight. It is flimsy and folds down and over. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. I do wish that it had maybe metal or plastic boning in the edges, just so that it could be a little bit more structured and stay upright. But I'm very happy with it. I would highly recommend it. I'm so excited for it. Just look at that design. Such a big pretty bag. For honorary mentions, we do have the Legacy 6-inch shorts. These are the restored Newbury fabric. They are coming in 3 different colors. The Newbury scrunchies, which are coming in 4 different colors. The Twilight Dream Heather sports bra. There is no changes to this compared to what we saw in the One More collection. This is coming in 3 beautiful bright colors to go along with the Twilight Dream Heather sports bra. We also have the Dream Heather leggings are coming in 2 different colors. So this is the kind of stretchier, slightly thinner, higher rise Dream Heather that we saw from the One More collection. The Halo baby tees, these are coming in 3 different colors. No changes to them, and that the team did reduce the price. I want to say they were maybe $36 initially, but now they are priced at $30 USD. The longer version, so a full length top, which is the Halo tee, the VIDA Seamless leggings, they come in 3 different colors, and there is no change or update to the fabric or the fit of the seamless other than they have a V dip of the waistband. The Rebel legging V2 being made out of eco poly fabric from the Juicy collection, the pink holographic shorts. There aren't any other changes other than the rise height decreased 1/2 inch all throughout. The Flirty Flow bikini short, so the inner liner is a bikini kind of underwear style rather than a boy short. I have the Vita short sleeve t-shirt, and this is 100% cotton. It is coming in 3 different colors, and I'm going to try to snatch this on launch day. It is such a cute t-shirt. 100% cotton. They are the softer cotton fabric. Sorry I'm adding this information late like this, but essentially it is late Tuesday night, and I was supposed to receive my Newbury Notch sports bra and Rosito sports bra from the Buff Bunny collection about a week ago, but the shipments have been delayed from the manufacturers to the Buff Bunny collection warehouse, so I was not able to receive my items in time for this video, and I filmed this video a little bit on Thursday and Friday night, and I've been editing like crazy Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I got my marriage license yesterday, so you know, and then today I work a full-time job, so it's kind of hard for me to get to it, but here is the information for those 2 pieces. And lastly, for honorary mentions, we also have the 3-pack of scrunch socks. So you have Candy Crush, Azul, and Onyx Black. My favorite 2 pieces from this entire collection, number 1 is going to have to be the Phantom waist jacket. Other favorite items, I honestly am not a fan of seamless fabric from Buff Bunny collection. I'm just going to tell y'all straight up. I think for the price point and how sheer all of it is, with me being a power lifter and my personal preferences for fabric durability, seamless from Buff Bunny collection just isn't really there for me, and it's not in my preference, and that's okay. However, for this collection, that ombre, just, I can't pass it up. So I will say that entire set is my favorite. My least favorite items from this entire collection, I know a lot of people are going to be upset with me saying this, but it's actually going to be the reversible bodysuit, because I just think that the fabric needs to be a little bit more compressive. It was giving me major camel toe, and I wish that bodysuits from Buff Bunny collection could come in different torso lengths so they could be tall girl friendly. So they, you know, I think it just was pulling at my crotch too much to accommodate for my torso length, and hopefully they can have a short version too for the shorter girlies. But I just didn't think it was the most flattering on me, and that's okay. You know, I hope it works out for somebody else, and I'm hoping that the Onyx Black might look a little bit more forgiving. And then the other piece that I'm just not exactly a fan of, the flow shorts are just not really thick girl friendly. There's not really in my preference. I did size up and exchanged for a size up, but yeah, they're just still not exactly for me. Unfortunately, Buff Bunny Collection athletes are no longer able to exchange their items for different items in different colors, or even the same item in a different color. We are only able to exchange the exact same item, the exact same color for a different size. So I really took the hit for y'all. That way we could do this R&D. A little life update. I'm getting married at the end of the month. I'm excited to marry my best friend. He is my person, my soulmate, my world. We are each other's biggest support system, cheerleaders, and friends. We both don't have any parents and we're financially independent. So we decided that what was most important to us was just having a really fun time. So if you would like any, I guess, like updates and get to see what my wedding is like, what kind of style we went for, how we're staying under a $5,000 budget, let me know in the comments below. But I'm also a little nervous because this day and age, weddings are such a huge spectacle, and social media can really hype it up and people can think like, oh, you have to spend this much, it has to be this grand thing. It's not that important to me what it looks like. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see my perspective on, our wedding, maybe a vlog of how it went. I'm stressed. I'll be honest, and he's stressing me out because I'm very much the frugal one in the relationship, and Joe is very much like larger than life. Let's have all this entertainment and let's do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you're costing us too much money. Stop. So it's been interesting how we approach the party planning. I do have to have a corrective surgery on my hand. This time I'm going to the Cleveland Clinic and it'll be during the summer. If y'all made it to the end, thank you so much for being here, supporting me in any type of way. Even if you only view this video, it helps the Buff Bunny Collection team see that my growth, my views, my engagement is growing and my support is growing with them. If you want to go the extra mile, please like, comment, share this video, and just continue to be an awesome rock star and helping me out. I appreciate it so much. If y'all have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I typically try to respond back to people by the end of the day at the latest. I hope that y'all love the pieces that you snag from Teresa's collaboration collection. I think she and the Buff Bunny design team really poured a lot of thought into items that really could be for everybody. And thank y'all so much for being here. I will see y'all next time.